2 more games to go, and for that, we'll play a little game we like to call Give Me the Headlines, presented by Hyundai. This is where Chris is working as a newspaper editor, a headline writer, and we'll start with the Vikings come back and beat my Detroit Lions. This game sucked.
Yeah.
28-24 was the final score. Your headline is?
The Wizard of Osborne.
Yeah.
Yes.
228-yard, I was watching.
Oh, you were? Darn.
228-yard catches at the end. The last one was the game-winning touchdown, ended with 73 yards. The Lions never put them away. They had the lead the whole game until the end, and they never put them away, which, as a Lions fan, this happens quite a bit. I mean, I guess the positive was that we held Justin Jefferson to a career-low 14 yards, so that was cool. But the Vikings did just enough to win, and the Lions did just enough to lose. What was your impression of the game?
Yeah, I'm encouraged by the Lions' offense.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can't be. There's a lot of things to be like about that side of the ball. Their offense is playing good enough for you guys to win football games. I don't look at that. It's the defense that seems to just – the dam breaks too often. We saw it in week 1 against the Eagles. We saw it a little in the second half against Washington in week 2. I know they won, and the offense really made the plays to kind of put the game away. And then here again, 24-14, you're feeling good about things, but I didn't feel like, oh, wow, this one's in the bag. Like, you felt like Kirk Cousins in that run game, and they were going to make some plays in the pass game. And then I think you couple that with, a little bit of fourth down misses and all of that, which is a tough conversation. I don't know how to get my head around this with Dan Campbell a little bit with going for it on fourth down.
So there were good and bad. They went for it on fourth down 6 times from early on in the game to late in the game, except for the last final one. So the ones that were good was one led to the eventual touchdown to make it 7-0. 2 more on a drive that made it 14-0. And so he was aggressive early, and it cashed in some 7 points. End of the game is where the questions are coming. Dead to head says, why did Campbell go for the 54-yard field goal on fourth down with a minute left when either going for the yardage or punting for a deeper field were clearly better options there? They missed the field goal, and then a short field for the Vikings when they scored their game-winning touchdown.
And they missed a fourth down. Well, they missed a fourth down at midfield that gave the Vikings
the possession before.
So that was the possession before. Mm-hmm. I think he was scarred by that. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's really what the big thing is. I think the thing is I wrap my head around the situation, around this a little bit more as well, is just hey, if that's your mantra for the day, go for it. Go with it. Like you said, there's been some positive things, certainly, but if you're going to go for it 6 times, did you think you were going to make it all 6 times? I mean, that would be incredible. That would be amazing. You're obviously going to get stopped once or twice. So if that's your plan for the day, to be aggressive and attack on that side of the ball, and your offense is kind of the positive, and they were rolling at certain points of this football game, then go with it. You can't let the 2 times you didn't make it infiltrate your brain and make you forget about the 4 times you did make it. I know the first time they didn't make it early in the game, right? It was 14-7. It gave the Vikings the ball at midfield. They went down and scored a touchdown and made it 14-all.
Yep.
Right? And then there's that one right there that you're talking about where they don't get it, and that leads to the Vikings going down and scoring the touchdown, right?
No, they
didn't get anything right. They ended up kicking it back to Detroit. And then Detroit went back down and then missed the field goal, right? Is that
I don't know if they kicked it or if it was turnover on downs. I can't remember. I got to take a look at that. But yeah, they didn't score on that one. But it was a turnover on downs.
It was a turnover on downs. Yeah. So, but either way, I think the defense is the part of the football team that I look at that's got to be a little bit better.
How about the Vikings?
Things seem too easy.
How about the credit where credit is due?
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings 2-1. And I mean, they're in the playoff mix, right? Obviously, some weaknesses, but they've got enough explosiveness on offense.
Yeah, I think their D line's better than I thought it was. Their linebackers are solid. They're pretty well coached on the defensive side of the ball, and we know on offense they got some playmakers. So yeah, I do think they're certainly a playoff caliber team. In the NFC without a doubt. Cousins is playing good. It's not special. Dalvin Cook, we'll see how that shoulder injury is because he got a little banged up in the football game. But it's just like we saw yesterday. When they can run the ball a little bit, man, it just opens up the field in the pass game for them in a major way to where, they can rip off some chunk pass yards in a hurry.
A victory from a team in the NFC North was going to happen either way in that game, but the Vikings get it. The NFC North also got a win with the Chicago Bears defeating the Texans 23-20. Your headline there?
My headline there is the show must row Quan.
Oh, very good. Very good,
you.
Pete. Well done, Pete.
Way to go, Chris. I mean, Pete.
16 tackles, 2 of them for a loss.
Yeah.
Had the interception at the end of the game that set up the game-winning field goal. So he was awesome. Made some plays on defense. The Bears' rushing attack was awesome. 281 rush yards, most by a Chicago team since 1984. Yeah, some things weren't great, like their passing attack, but you play good defense, you make some turnover plays, and you run the ball like that, that's going to be a winning formula.
It is. I mean, they made mistakes yesterday, but run the ball, defense doesn't get out of position a whole lot. I think those are the encouraging things. It's an ugly 2-1 Chicago football team right now. It is. It was ugly quarterback play by both teams yesterday, certainly. But the game kind of played the way I thought, really. I thought it would be a field goal type of game, and I honestly kind of boiled it down to Justin Fields will make a play or two that Davis Mills won't, and that'll be the difference in the game. That wasn't the case necessarily either. It was the running game of the Bears altogether that was impressive. All in all, I think one of the things that I'll take away from this game a little bit is just that the Bears, the way Justin Fields looks and the way they're playing on offense is a little concerning. All right? Like, I watched a little of that film this morning while I was eating breakfast because I was like, man, what is going on with the Bears in the passing game? It's a little concerning. Justin Fields not very accurate throwing the football right now. And I would also say that it's a little bit of the way they're calling the game almost makes me feel like they don't trust him a little bit. They're trying to. There's a few drop back passes where I told you before the show, people are open and I don't know what he's looking at. And I think they're going, oh gosh, well, that's scary. I don't know what he's doing there. So let's just call it a simple bootleg play. And then that becomes predictable because teams are ready for that with Justin Fields and the Bears and all of that too. So they're a little concerning on the offensive side of the ball. But either way, 2-1, ugly, and good for them getting the win. The Texans, again, another good effort, but just don't have enough playmakers, don't have the quarterback. They're missing a few things on their team to help them get over the edge and win games.
Yeah, they're still looking for their first win. There's only 2 winless teams in the NFL right now after 3 weeks, the Texans and the Las Vegas Raiders. That was Give Me the Headlines, presented by Hyundai.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.